If any business entity have the turnover of less than 1.5 crore, they can opt for composition levy scheme. Cost of goods sold under normal levy scheme will be 50 lakhs. Under composition scheme, it will be 52 lakh 50,000 because we are giving additional expenditure of 2 lakh 50,000. Manufacturers whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore, except the manufacturers of ice cream, pan masala and tobacco products. For them, they will be charging 2% of GST. Hello everyone, I am Arun Kumar, lecturer in Department of Commerce and Management, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. Dear students, welcome to this new session on unit number 3, session 2. The topic is levy and collection of tax. So in the earlier session, dear students, we discussed about what is supply and who are the persons supposed to pay tax and what is taxable supply, and we also discussed about what is composite supply and what is mixed supply. Dear students, in this session we will be learning about the composition levy under the GST. That means the topic will be continued. So the composition levy in an alternative method of levy of tax designed for small taxpayers whose turnover is up to rupees 75 lakhs and rupees 50 lakhs in case of few states. Yes, dear students, composition levy is nothing but it's a scheme which is given to a small business entities. It's a scheme given to small business entities where the tax rate will be very less for the small business entities. So here for small business entities, earlier it was 75 lakhs. Now the government increased the value, the turnover up to rupees 1.5 crore. Yes, for all the states, the turnover is 1.5 crore. If any business entity have the turnover of less than 1.5 crore, they can opt for composition levy scheme. If it is for northeastern states, the turnover is 75 lakhs. Yes, so the composition levy scheme is for small business entities where the turnover is less than 1.5 crore and for northeastern states where the turnover is less than 75 lakhs. If their turnover is less than 1.5 crore or less than 75 lakhs, they can opt for composition scheme. So what are the benefits they are going to get under composition scheme if they opt for composition scheme? The benefits are they will be charged very less rate of GST on the total turnover of the business. So specified rates of composition scheme. Yes, we have very specified rates. We don't have the actual rates of 5%, 12%, 18% or 28%. Yes, these are the actual GST rates: 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. But here we have specified rates under composition levy. So which are those? So manufacturers other than manufacturers of such goods as may be notified by the government, that is ice cream, pan masala and tobacco products. Yes, manufacturers whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore, except the manufacturers of ice cream, pan masala and tobacco products. For them, they will be charging 2% of GST. Yes, they will be charging flat rate of 2% GST, that is 1% CGST and 1% SGST. So if you are a manufacturer, if your total turnover is less than 1.5 crore, you can opt for composition scheme where they will be charging only 2% of GST on your total turnover. Next one, restaurant services. If you are providing in restaurant services and if your total turnover is less than 1.5 crore, so at that time they will be charging only 5% of tax, that is 2.5% CGST, 2.5% SGST. Next, traders or any other suppliers eligible for compensation levy. Yes, traders or any other suppliers eligible for compensation levy. So for them they will be charging 1% of GST. That means 0.5% CGST, 0.5% SGST. So for composition levy scheme, only the small business entities are eligible, not everyone. Only the small business entities where their total turnover is less than 1.5 crore. Yes, if the total turnover of the business is less than 1.5 crore and with respect to northeastern states, if the total turnover is less than 75 lakhs, then they are eligible to claim this composition scheme where they will be charged either 2%, 5% or 1% of tax based upon the nature of business of that particular business entity. So these are all the different rates what we have under composition levy scheme. Next, following persons are not allowed to opt for the composition scheme. Yes, everyone can't opt for composition scheme because there are some rules and regulations to opt for composition scheme. So now who are all not eligible to claim this composition scheme? The first party is a casual taxable person or non-resident taxable person. Yes, a casual taxable person and non-resident taxable person. If you are winning from lottery or betting or from horse race, wherever, that comes under casual income. So if you are paying the tax under casual income, you are not eligible for composition scheme. And non-residents, yes, if you are a non-resident of India, then you are also not eligible for this composition scheme. Next, suppliers whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year crossed 75 lakhs. Yes, it is respect to earlier scheme. Now it is rupees 1.5 crore. Yes, so if the suppliers whose aggregate turnover crossed rupees 1.5 crore in the earlier year, then he is also not eligible for this composition scheme. For example, last year your turnover is 2 crore. This year your turnover is 1 crore. So are you eligible for composition scheme? No, because last year your turnover is more than the limit. So that is why this year you are not eligible. So next, supplier who has purchased any goods or services from unregistered supplier unless he has paid GST on such goods or services on reverse charge basis. Yes, here suppliers who are purchased the goods from unregistered dealer, they are also not eligible to claim this composition scheme unless they pay the tax, that is GST, on reverse charge basis. Next, supplier of services other than restaurant services. Yes, only the restaurant services are eligible for composition scheme, not other suppliers. So supplier of services other than hotel service, that is restaurant service, they are also not eligible for claiming the composition scheme. Next, persons supplying goods which are not taxable under GST law. That means if you are supplying any petroleum products or alcohol, then you are not eligible to claim this composition scheme. Next, persons making any interstate outward supplies of goods. That means if you are supplying intrastate supplies, that means if you are supplying within the state, then you are eligible. If you are supplying within the state and your turnover is less than 1.5 crore, you can opt for composition scheme. In case if you are supplying interstate supplies, that means if you are supplying between other state, then you are not eligible to claim this composition scheme. Next, supplier making any supply of goods through an electronic commerce operator who is required to collect tax at source under section 52. Yes, if you are doing any e-commerce business, then you are not eligible for compensation scheme. Yes, if you are doing any e-commerce business, you are not eligible for compensation scheme. A manufacturer of following goods. The person who is manufacturing the goods which are sellable in the e-commerce platform, for him also the compensation scheme is not available. So problem number 1, Mr. Nala, a retailer who keeps no inventories, presents the following expected information for the year 2019. So purchase of goods rupees 50 lakhs, purchase of goods rupees 50 lakhs and applicable GST is 5%. Next, sales at fixed selling price inclusive of all taxes rupees 60 lakhs, GST on sales is again 5%. Expenses of keeping detailed statutory records required under the GST law will be 1,30,000 per annum, which shall get reduced to 50,000 if compensation scheme is opted for. Other expenses are rupees 2 lakh per annum if composite tax is 1% on turnover. Advise whether you should opt for composition scheme or normal scheme. So cost of goods sold. So what is the cost of goods sold? It is rupees 50 lakhs. So here it is rupees 50 lakhs. But if you look into the expenses, so actual expenses is rupees 2 lakh and 50,000 for compensation scheme. So here cost of goods sold under normal levy scheme will be 50 lakhs Under composition scheme, it will be 52,50,000 because we are giving additional expenditure of 2,50,000. Add cost of maintaining records. So here 1,30,000 and 70,000 under composition scheme. So add other expenses, 2 lakh. Next, total cost. So what is the total cost here? 53,30,000 and here 55,20,000. So selling price, that is, what is the total sales? It is rupees 60 lakhs and 60 lakhs. So less GST on sales. So what is the GST? It is 5%. So if you compute 5% on 60 lakhs, you will get 2,85,000, and if you compute 1% on 60 lakhs, you will get 60,000. So net sales, so 57,14,286 and here it is 59,40,000. So profit, net sales minus total cost. So you will get 3,84,000 here and 4,20,000 under composition scheme. So what you are supposed to advise? You are supposed to advise the profit under composition scheme is higher than the normal levy scheme. Yes, the profit under composition scheme is higher than the normal levy scheme. So which scheme is better? Composition scheme is better. Next problem, problem number 2. Mr. Sambit is a trader, furnished the following information. Input purchased, intrastate GST 18%, 20 lakhs. He purchased and he paid 18% tax and he purchased 20 lakh worth product. Next, input services hired intrastate. So 12%, rupees 12 lakhs. Next, capital goods purchased intrastate, GST 28%. So 15 lakhs. Output sold intrastate, that is inclusive of all taxes, GST rate is 12% and 90 lakhs is the total value of sales. Calculate GST payable and suggest the supplier whether opt for composition scheme or not. So normal scheme, composite scheme. So in normal scheme, you can claim for input tax, but under composite scheme, you can't claim for input tax. So output tax liability. So total sales rupees 75 lakhs. If you compute 6% CGST, 6% SGST, you will get 4,24,528, 4,24,528 and less input tax. You purchase some inputs. So deduct input tax on inputs. You will get 1,80,000, 72, 2,10,000, 2,10,000. So total input tax rate is how much? Rupees 4,62,000, 4,62,000. So deduct 4,62,000, 4,62,000. Whatever the balance you will get, output tax, you will get rupees 37,472, 37,472. That means whatever the input tax you have is more than the output tax what you are payable. So still you have the surplus of 37,472, 37,472. If you compute under composition scheme, output tax liability. So how much? If you consider 1%, you will get 37,500, 37,500 will be the tax payable. And now what is the ultimate tax payable? 37,500, 37,500, because in composition scheme you can't claim for input tax credit. So which is better? So it is better to opt for normal levy scheme, because still under normal levy scheme you have the surplus value of 37,472, 37,472, but under composite scheme you need to pay 37,500, 37,500. So it's better to opt for normal levy scheme. Next, problem number 3. Mr. Shah is trader, furnished the following information. Input purchased 12%, 20 lakhs. Input services hired intrastate 18%, 10 lakhs. Capital goods purchased GST 12%, 10 lakhs. Output sold intrastate inclusive of all, GST rate 28% and 80 lakhs. Calculate GST payable. So output, that is sales is given, purchase is given. Now you are supposed to find out the tax payable under normal scheme as well as under composite scheme. So normal scheme, output tax payable. So here 80 lakh is the total turnover and 14% CGST, 14% SGST, you will get 9,82,000, 9,82,000. So output tax payable is 9,82,000. So less input tax credit. So here on input 20 lakhs into 12%. So 6% CGST, 6% SGST, 1,20,000, 1,20,000. Next one, 10 lakh 18%. So 90,000, 90,000. That is 9%, 9%. On capital goods, it's 12%, 6%, 6%. That is 60,000, 60,000. So 9 lakh 82 is the tax what you are payable, and this amount is the input tax available. If you compute under composite scheme, on 80 lakhs 1%. So 0.5% CGST, 0.5% SGST, 40,000, 40,000. So under composite scheme, you are supposed to pay 40,000, 40,000, totally 80,000 rupees of tax. So here 9 lakh 82, 9 lakh 82, deduct this input tax. Okay, if you deduct the input tax of 2 lakh 70, 2 lakh 70, still you need to pay 7 lakh 12,000, 7 lakh 12,000 under normal levy scheme, and only 80,000 together, CGST, SGST together, 80,000 under composite scheme. So which one is better? It is better to opt for composite scheme because the tax payable is less compared to normal scheme. So this is how you are supposed to solve the problems under composite and normal scheme. So with this, I'm going to wind up this session. I hope all of you understood the topic. So in the upcoming sessions, I'm going to come up with few more topics. Until then, thank you all. Namaste.